Good afternoon, sir.
Please have a seat.
Please have a seat.
Okay,
sir.
Hello, Saurabh.
Hello, sir.
Saurabh, so tell me something about you, Saurabh.
Okay, so I'm Saurabh Sanand. I'm originally from Bokaro, Jharkhand.
Okay.
I'm a qualified chartered accountant, cost accountant, and company secretary. I'm from Indian Cost Account Service. Presently, I'm assistant director at DG Audit, Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs. Prior to this, I was deputy manager of finance in Coal India Limited, wherein I served for more than 7.5 years. I am married and father of a 1.5-year-old son. My interests are analyzing financial case study of businesses and teaching accounts and taxation.
Okay. So, what are the economic impact of Bangladesh instability over India?
Okay. So Bangladesh is one among the top export destinations for India. So any instability there will lead to a decrease in the exports of India. Secondly, sir, India has also invested in various projects there, like the nuclear power plant, which it was constructing along with Russia. So that will be impacted. Apart from this, the SEZ units and the investments which India had in Bangladesh will be vulnerable. So because of these situations, there will be economic hardship, and there will be less means foreign exchange earning for India because of less export.
Okay. So, tell me 3 economic principles given by Chanakya and its relevancy in today's scenario.
Okay. Sorry, sir, I am not aware of.
Okay. Or 3 management principles given by Chanakya and its relevance in present scenario. Do you have any idea?
Sorry, sir, I am not exactly aware, but if you permit me, I can.
Yes, of course.
So, Chanakya talked about the importance of treasury and the importance of taxation system. So, he talked about how an economy can thrive only when there is a good taxation system. Secondly, he talked about the role of Saptang in administration. So, further, he also talked about the moral conduct of a king, how he should behave, and what is his duties. So, that actually comes to my mind.
Tell me 3 taxation principles given by Todermal.
Okay. So Todermal was the finance minister of Akbar, and he proposed that there should be progressive taxation. So he actually divided the land into 4 categories based on the fertility of that land, and imposed tax based on it. So the most fertile land will be taxed on a regular basis, whereas a barren land would have been taxed on an interval of 2 years or 3 years. So he imposed that. Apart from this, sir, he also implemented good measures for increasing the tax revenue and standardizing the weights and measures for the businesses.
Oh, thank you. Please.
Saurabh, you are from Jharkhand.
Yes, sir.
All right. Can you give us brief history about Jharkhand area?
Sir, so Jharkhand is mentioned in our religious books like Mahabharata as Pondarik Des. Thereafter, sir, it was ruled by Nagvanshi rulers, and Fani Mukut was the first king of Nagvanshi in Jharkhand, who was ruling Jharkhand. Thereafter, during Sir Mughal time, it was known as Damini Ko, and thereafter, during British time, it came under British rule, and in 2000 it was separated from Bihar, and a separate state was formed on the birth anniversary of Birsa Munda ji. So,
Okay, what differences would you see before the formation of the state and after formation of the state?
sir, the major reasons for formation was, first of all, there was economic neglect and underdevelopment of the tribal areas, despite they being mineral rich. Secondly, sir, Bihar as a state was very big, and for administrative convenience that separation took place. And third was for protecting the socio-cultural rights and for giving political representation to the tribal population. So at present, out of 81 MLA seats, 28 are reserved for the ST population and 9 are reserved for SC population. Fourthly, sir, after the separation, the several industrial centers developed like Bokaro, Jamshedpur and Ranchi. They further developed into industrial hubs. The educational institutions like IIM Ranchi, IIT ISM Dhanbad and XLRI, they also got prominence. The infrastructure facilities have improved. The road, rail connectivity, the electrification is good now.
So can
these
you
are the
bring us
changes.
like some major problems that Jharkhand is facing today?
Okay. So Jharkhand is facing issues like, sir, first of all, sir, despite being mineral rich, sir, the issues are, first, there is wide gap between the means demand and supply of electricity there, which leads to frequent electricity cuts in both residential areas and the commercial areas, and which adds to the cost of production for industries. Secondly, sir, there is less diversification of economy. So 75% of the population is dependent on agriculture, and majority of the industries are mineral based industries. And thirdly, sir, the illegal mining, which leads to loss of revenue for the government. And fourthly, sir, the capital investment in Jharkhand is less, so it has less multiplier effect on the economy. So, and fifth, sir, the socio-economic indicators of Jharkhand are very bad. So we are 19th in terms of per capita income among the states, and we are poorest among in the performance, socio-economic performance, if we consider, sir.
So
these
if
the
you are
issues.
made as district magistrate of a particular district,
Yes, sir.
so what changes you can bring?
Okay, so first of all, sir, the areas on which I will work on first, there is the education facilities, especially among the government schools, is very bad in Jharkhand. So I want to improve on this thing. So the major issue that I think is teacher absenteeism, sir. So I will work on, I will ensure that there is biometric attendance, compulsory biometric attendance, so this issue gets resolved. Further, sir, since there are a lot of corporates there, we can also partner with them so that they can invest the CSR funds for better infrastructure of the schools and colleges there. Second, sir, the health facilities is very bad. So especially the tertiary healthcare is not proper. So we can effectively utilize the budget of the government, and at the same time we can also use CSR funds for upgrading the equipments there. Third, sir, regarding illegal mining, which leads to huge revenue loss for the government, what we can do is, sir, we can have surprise raids and have stakeholder meetings with the persons involved, like Coal India is doing mining there, so we can have a stakeholder meeting with the Coal India personnel and the security officers who are deployed there, like Jharkhand Home Guard and the CISF personnel, so to reduce this menace of illegal mining. Fourth, sir, I think I will also look into the infrastructure deficiencies which are there in Jharkhand, and so there is a special fund called DMFT fund, which is collected on the mining activities, and it can be properly used for better development of the mining areas and socio-economic upliftment there. So these
All
are
right. Good,
these are
Saurabh.
something which thank you, sir.
Okay, Saurabh, so you are posted in the CBIC right now. What is your assessment about the impact of GST over the compliance cost from the perspective of taxpayers.
Okay. So, sir, with implementation of GST, there are some compliances which are required. However, sir, the department is concerned about the cost, and it is actually means simplifying those tax provisions and bringing reforms in the GSTN, which is the interface between the department and the taxpayers. So, and at the same time, sir, there are auto-populated facilities also there in GST, and auto-calculation facilities have also been enabled for reducing the compliance burden of the taxpayers. These compliances are meant for reducing the probability of frauds and tax evasions. So, however, at the same time ensuring that the tax compliances are reduced.
Okay. Do you have any estimate of the impact over the compliance cost before GST and after GST? I mean, how much compliance cost was there before GST and after GST? Is there any kind of estimation?
Sir, I am not sure of the data, but I know that the number of SSCs have increased after post implementation of GST. Further, sir, prior to GST, the basic registration limit for excise was 4 crore rupees. However, in GST it is 40 lakh if you are supplying goods. So the compliance burden has increased on MSMEs. But there is a provision of composition taxation, wherein if they have a turnover up to 1.5 crore, they can avail that benefit, and in that case the compliance burden is significantly lower, as you have to less file returns and the tax payment is also simpler.
Okay, why there is a difference in the registration limit for the mainstream states and the hilly states? What is the logic behind that?
So the main logic is because that I find is there is lack of viability on the part of hilly states. So there is less economic activity there, and the government is also trying to boost the economy there. So it is giving some tax concessions there. So
Tax concession, or in fact the limit for registration, the turnover limit is less in those areas. So in a way, it is putting more burden over the business in those areas.
sir, the tax you are telling right, sir. The registration limit is less. However, there are some tax holidays which are given to the taxpayers in income tax or in other taxation provision. The limit was less because there was less economic activity in those areas as compared to the mainland India.
But don't you think it puts unfair burden over the businessmen who are operating in those states? Already there is less economic activity, and they are supposed to pay the taxes. I mean, these states are already lagging behind, and the tax holidays which you are telling are available only to specific industries, and that too for a limited period of time.
So the benefit of lowering of that registration limit is, first of all, as I mentioned, due to economic activity there. So there are no much business houses there. The main purpose of bringing the business into GST is for reducing the cascading effect of taxes. So if you are registered in GST, you will get input tax credit of whatever purchases you are making. So that in way also reduces your cost of doing business. So that is the main thing. However, as you have correctly mentioned, sir, there are compliance burden. However, that is they can definitely register under composition taxation and reduce their compliance burden.
Right. So what are the limitations of cash-based system of accounting which the government of India follows largely as of now, and what are the challenges we are facing in transitioning from cash-based system of accounting to accrual-based system of accounting?
So the major deficiency in cash system of accounting is the transaction is recorded when cash is paid or cash is received, irrespective of whether that income has been earned or expense has been incurred.
Okay, can you tell me some specific instance or some specific important issue which is impacting the which is being impacted by the cash based system of accounting?
So the major thing I can think of is the financial position. So you don't get the true and fair view of the actual financial position of the organization. Secondly, it is very difficult for long term planning and for investment decisions. So if foreign investors want to invest in government securities, so they will find it difficult to actually assess the financial position of government. Fourthly, sir, the actual it will also create issues. It is creating issues in reporting purpose. So there are instances where, because of cash accounting, even the incomes which were not earned, they are also recognized. So for these reasons, I think these are the limitations of cash accounting.
Okay, what may be the possible impacts over the figures of deficits, the budget deficits, various kind of budget deficits? Do you think if we shift to the accrual based accounting, there will be some impact on the amount of deficits that we count today, like current account deficit, fiscal deficit? Like, will it increase or decrease?
Sorry, sir, I'm not that sure, but I think the balance of payment is prepared on accrual basis.
No, I'm asking about the fiscal deficit.
Okay, fiscal deficit, sorry.
And revenue deficit, not current account.
Okay, sorry. So fiscal deficit and the revenue deficit. So there will be impact, and since the expenses will be recognized when it is incurred and not when it is paid, so there will be increase in the expenditure side, and the revenues will be recognized only when it is due. So there are chances that the deficit amount may increase. However, since the assets are also not recognized at present, so like the interest on loans that are given by government of India, so I think that will be an additional source of income. So a true estimate can be only be prepared after detailed analysis. So
right. What is the current status of accrual based system of accounting in the government of India? Are there any departments which have started following it?
Sir, accrual system of accounting was recently introduced in railways. However, it took a significant time. It was due since 2016, and it is now only in 23-24 that it was implemented, and that too in specific segments and sectors. So it is a trial project, and after it is successfully implemented, maybe it will be implemented in other departments. The main issue with this transition is the amount of time. Like, sir, I want to mention that New Zealand also recently transitioned from cash system to accrual system, but it took 9 years for them to make that transition. So for a country as big as India, it will take some time. So we should be cautious, and we should be maybe make that effort in a piecemeal manner.
Okay, right. What is the difference between internal rate of return and economic rate of return?
Sir, internal rate of return is the return that is generated by the projects. Means it is calculated by equating the cash inflows, present value of cash inflows, to the cash outflow. So that is the internal rate of return. However, the economic rate of return is the return on capital employed that we get from investing in a particular project. So the basic difference is internal rate of return uses time value of money, whereas the economic rate of return ignores time value of money.
Okay. How has the mechanism to hold CAs accountable has changed after the incidents like Satyam and all?
Okay. So a lot of changes have been made, like the NFRA has been established under Companies Act 2013, and it is now the regulatory body of the auditing profession in India. So it is also investigating cases for listed companies and unlisted companies with a certain threshold limit, and which has actually helped in ensuring the reliability of financial statement, ensuring the quality of the audits that are being done, and holding the auditors accountable, and ensuring that proper due diligence and professional skepticism is taken care of when they are auditing the financial statements. It has also allowed India to become a member country of International Institution of Independent Auditors, means regulator of India of auditing profession, which has helped India to share the best practices with around the world. So there are some, so these are the changes which has happened. Apart from this, there is also provision for cooling off period under Companies Act. So an individual firm, if they are conducting audit, if an individual firm is conducting audit, then they have a cooling period of 5 years after 5 years, and if a partnership firm is doing so, 10 years after that a cooling off period is there. Further, they are stopped from performing services which are especially prohibited under Companies Act. These are the steps which are taken.
Okay, do you invest in stock market?
Sir, I invest in stock market, but not directly, but through NPS Tier 2 account.
Okay. Are civil servants allowed to invest in the stock market?
Yes, sir. Civil servants are allowed. However, they are prohibited from doing intraday trading and speculation trading.
What is the reason for that?
Sir, being a civil servant, you have access to some price sensitive information, so that might give a negative image about the service.
But already we have insider trading regulations to control that. Like if you are part of some specific organization, so the insider information of that particular organization you have, so you should not trade in that. But otherwise, why there is why there should be any kind of restriction over the trading?
Sorry, sir. As I mentioned that we can trade, however, we are prohibited from doing speculation trading. So being a civil servant, we are supposed to hold the highest standard of code of conduct and code of ethics for restoring the trust of the people in the system. So if someone is involved in unscrupulous activities, then that might give a wrong message. Secondly, sir, the main purpose of speculation trading is earning business income. So civil servants are prohibited, since we are employed on a 24/7 basis, so we are prohibited from undertaking any such activities.
Okay. Any one best practice from your own learning which you want to introduce in the government system?
Okay. So my journey of becoming CA has taught me several qualities, and I think, sir, the quality of analyzing is the quality which I think can be very useful, especially when I am dealing with proposals relating to any PPP projects or any financial proposal wherein there are issues of viability. You have to forecast the cash outflows or the cash inflows. There you can definitely use it. The knowledge of cost accounting can be used for cost control, cost reduction, identifying any unproductive activities, and at the same time doing variance analysis for identifying the shortcomings or loopholes where we can improve. Further, sir, my auditing experience can be used for ensuring efficiency and integrity of the financial system and government schemes. So I think these skills can be very useful for me being a civil servant.
Okay, right. So what was the need of bringing NFRA? We already had ICI, and it is a statutory body, self-regulatory. So do you think ICAI has failed in conducting its performing its duty?
Sir, ICI has been a very integral part of the finance system of India. So it has been means it has contributed in the economic progress of the country, and which is visible from the increase in the number of taxpayers and means year on year increase in the tax.
My question is specifically about why the NFRA has to be constituted despite ICI already being there, and that too is also a statutory body.
Sorry, sir. The main purpose for establishment of NFRA was, first of all, sir, the ICI could only means take penal action against the members and not the partnership firms. So that was a limitation. Secondly, sir, the peer review mechanism which was with ICI was not that much efficient. Thirdly, sir, there was conflict of interest, as ICI was both conducting the CA exams as well as regulating the auditing profession. And fourthly, sir, there was large pendency of cases in ICI. So since its inception, only 14 CAs have been convicted. More than 1500 cases are pending with ICI. So and because of the increasing frauds which were taking place, so there was need for an independent regulator who could oversee the profession in a much better manner.
Okay, do you think the 2% of the profit which is to be spent as per the corporate social responsibility norms, it is a kind of indirect taxation over the big companies? I mean, do you think is it right way to charge that, make them obligatory?
So the benefit of introduction of CSR was it leads to socio-economic upliftment of the area around that industry. So in a way it leads to better human capital, and it also leads to a stable and secure environment around the industry, which are very necessary for growth of any industry, sir. However, because of the introduction of CSR, there is a burden on the corporate sector, that apart from paying taxes, they have to incur the CSR activities. But given the kind of benefit it creates on the society and enterprise being a stakeholder and trustee, so I think it is a very good concept and a very progressive concept, as it will ultimately benefit the corporate sector through better human capital.
Right. What is the recent controversy between ICAI and NFRA? Can you please explain?
So the recent controversy between ICI and NFRA was that ICI issued some quality standards, which NFRA said that these standards cannot be issued because, as per section 132, central government will issue standards in consultation with NFRA. So any standards on regulating the quality of audits has to be issued by NFRA and not by ICI.
So what is the stand of ICI over this?
ICI stand was that it is regulating its own profession, and it was not relating to auditing as such, so which was the domain of NFRA. However, it was made very clear by NFRA that this also pertains to them, since it relates to auditing.
Okay. What is the difference between single entity system of accounting and double entity system of accounting?
Okay, so in double entry system of accounting, sir, so two phases of a transaction is recorded. Suppose if we are purchasing some goods, so on credit, so goods will be debited and supplier or creditor will be credited. So both these transactions are recorded. However, in single entry systems, these transactions are not recorded as like this. So for incomes it will be recorded in plus sign, and expenses it will be recorded in minus sign. So it will give a net effect of the transaction instead of a true and complete picture of the entire transaction.
Okay. What is the status of trade unionism in India in the recent years? There have been a few incidents last year. Do you know the incident of Samsung? What was the issue over there, or any other incident which you remember?
Okay. Okay, so the incident especially related to Samsung was that they wanted to create a union of workers. However, the management was adamant that we don't want any union representation in Samsung. Second, sir, there were other incidences also, like there was incidents in Coal India itself. So the non-executive employees had done strike for implementation of National Coal Wage Agreement 11 provision. So there were these cases. Further, sir, there were also some cases of shutting down of Maruti plant in Haryana. So these were the cases, sir. After liberalization and opening of the economy, more outsourcing of the work is taking place. So because of this, the union movements which were at their peak during 1980s and 1990s, they have somewhat decreased in India. However, in case of public sector undertaking, there are still unions there. Like in Coal India, there are 5 unions affiliated to national level unions. So
Okay. What is your view on the dignity of labor class as such? You have worked in Coal India, and in the Coal India there are people who work at the ground level. So do you what practices the companies follow to maintain the dignity of such people?
So the major issue which I found while working in Coal India was the maximum workers were outsourced. So because of which there was lack of social security benefits, there was long working hours, and the wages were also not proper. So especially those related to the outsource and private sector. However, there are provisions to tackle this also. So like what we did in Coal India was, so there is a act called Contractual Labor Prohibition Act. So it states that the liability of all the compliances lies with the principal employer, and in this case it was Coal India. So we ensured that all the contract workers were registered under EPF or ESI. Secondly, we used to check whether minimum wages are being paid or not to them. Secondly, thirdly, sir, we also ensure that they also receive payment of, means bonus also. So this is
Okay,
how we
understood.
ensure those compliances.
Like you in the Coal India, you have told that you are using contractual labor over there, and these government companies have been the model employer in India. Do you think this practice of contractualization, which is also prevalent in ministries nowadays, is that a good practice?
Sir, the very reason for introduction of contract labor was because the recruitment cannot happen frequently as required. So there is a requirement of labor and the workforce at
Do you
state.
are you saying it is a failure of the HR policy? It may be for the short term that they will have contract labor, but it's a company working for so many years. It will work for so many years. So why don't they plan the human resource in a way that they can give the proper job, they can give the job security, they can give the social security? If companies of this size and having this much of resources, having the government ownership, do this kind of activity, then how will we put the moral obligation and other things on the private companies?
Sir, means engaging contractual employees leads to some benefits also, like the cost of production decreases, the administration cost decreases. However, you are pointing
But it is at the
out-
cost of
Yeah,
their
yes, you
economic.
are pointing it right, pointing it very right that it means we have to be more we have to look at this issue from the perspective of human angle also, and we should better manage our human resource for ensuring that they get the benefits. So a suitable HR policy will be a welcome step in this particular direction. So a good policy needs to be prepared, and in fact, sir, there should be these sort of policies should be prepared in an independent manner, and there should be some sort of, if required, for these kind of manual works, some minimum experience may also be seen, so that some independence and good decisions can be taken when we are recruiting employees. However, these decisions are, since it involves cost, it requires more understanding of the impact it creates on the companies. A balanced decision needs to be taken for balancing both profit maximization and welfare of the workers.
Okay, right. So you have worked in PSU also. Now you're working in a proper government ministry.
Yes, sir.
So what is the difference between the culture of two organizations you have already worked in? Can you point out some 2-3 differences in the culture that you found?
Okay. There are not much differences because Coal India was also a public sector undertaking. However, the key differences which I could think of right now is, first of all, the promotion policy. So in the central government employee being part of an organized group A service, the promotion facilities are much better in central government jobs. Secondly, sir, the kind of recognition which you get when you become part of civil service is different than when you are part of PSU. Thirdly, sir, the health benefits under CGHS scheme is also very good.
My question is about culture, not from the employee perspective.
Okay, sir. Sorry, sir. So culture-wise, sir, I think there is more respect in the central government job. So even when we are talking with our juniors or seniors, there is a decency in our behavior and more professionalism when we are dealing with any person. PSC also is professional. However, since I was posted in a remote location, so I find that lacking there.
I think that's because of place of posting.
Yes, sir.
The impact of local culture comes over there.
Yes,
the people belong to local areas, so they use local language, they use local practices.
Yes, sir. That
Right.
may be the reason.
How the Coal India has managed the various kind of changes that came in coal sector, like earlier there was a complete monopoly of Coal India, then we allowed private sector commercial mining also in 2018. So what kind of change you have seen happening inside Coal India strategically or otherwise?
Okay. So the changes which I have seen is, first of all, sir, there is diversification in the operations that are done by Coal India. So it is also, apart from the mining activities, it is also dealing into coal gasification, extraction of coal-based methane. Apart from, it has also formed 2 subsidiary companies, one in renewable sector and other one in especially solar energy sector. So it is diversifying its operations. Secondly, sir, it is also it has implemented SAP for end-to-end integration of data for increasing the efficiency of its operations. So it is also dealing with that. Third, sir, it is increasing its capital expenditure on the assets, and so there are special equipments like shovels, dozers, that are used there in the mining operations. So it is increasing capital expenditure for increasing the production of coal. So in fact, last year Coal India recorded the highest coal production till now.
Okay. Tell me the name of 2 personalities whose leadership qualities you admire, and what are the leadership qualities these personalities carry?
Okay, sir. So the 2 personalities whose leadership qualities I admire is, first one is Bhimrao Ambedkar ji, and the second one is Mahendra Singh Dhoni. So Bhimrao Ambedkar ji, despite facing a hostile environment, he worked continuously for the upliftment of marginalized section and ensured that they get their due share in the development of the country. So that is one thing. And regarding Mahendra Singh Dhoni sir, so he is also known as Captain Cool because he keeps his composure when even in difficult situations, and he faces those situations with confidence and in a way that is not considered a regular way of dealing with things. So he innovates in a way. So I think these are the two personalities whom I admire.
Okay, so which motivation theory is your favorite theory?
Sir, I am sorry, I know the answer, but I am not able to recall. But I think a rightful balance between task orientation and the goal orientation is something which actually helps me a lot. So I think that theory was proposed by Blake and Moulton, managerial grid. I'm not
That's a leadership theory.
leadership. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, motivation. I think. Okay, yes. So there is Herbert Simon theory also, which talks about there are some motivators and there are some hygiene factors. So
Okay, I think your name is different.
yeah, I am sorry, I am not.
Okay.
Call it.
No problem. Can you explain the packing order theory of capital structure?
Packing order theory of
Capital structure.
sorry, sir, I am not aware of it.
Okay, can you please tell the 5 provisions of Income Tax Act which benefit the senior citizens?
Okay. So first of all, the slab rates itself. So if you are a senior citizen, so you will the tax slab starts from 3 lakh rupees. So under old tax regime. Secondly, sir, the senior citizen also gets benefit under section 80 TTB. So there is 50,000 deduction on interest on fixed deposits or any post office or bank deposits. Okay. Third is
Okay, after the introduction of new tax regime, what is the impact over tax collections? Has it decreased or increased, or what is the overall impact if you have studied?
so post implementation of new tax regime, the direct tax collection has increased, and it has led to more simplification of the tax provisions because it has reduced the number of exemptions and deductions which used to make the computation of income very complex. So I think because of this simplification, the tax revenue has increased, and it has.
Okay, so you are working. You are part of the Indian Cost Accounting Service. What is the organizational structure of your service? I mean, if you look it from, is it functional structure, is it project structure, is it matrix structure? Because you are deputed in different departments, you are a specialist. So, can you please analyze?
Okay. So I think it is more functional structure because unlike matrix structure, there are no dual responsibilities. So we are responsible for the whichever organization or ministry we are posted at, we are responsible for that particular ministry, and
But you are part of the cadre of your own service.
yes, sir.
So, like you report to your own seniors in that particular ministry. Suppose you are posted in, say, like in current posting CVIC. So do you report to the CVEC officers or do you report to your own service bosses?
Sir, so my reporting authority and reviewing authority both are from officers of CBIC. So that is how the reporting works.
Okay. So isn't it a project structure?
Sir, actually it is not a project means as such, because we are working, actually it is a cadre post that is created in CVIC. It's not that we are on deputation or something like this. So we are posted on a full-time basis there.
Okay. So what difference you want to bring after changing your service from the current service to the service like IAS or IPS? What one significant difference you see between the two?
Okay, so the difference between the two services.
Yeah, I mean, from your perspective, what is your motivation behind joining another service? You are already in your Group A service.
Okay. So civil service as an IS officer provides opportunity to work in multidisciplinary roles and at the same time affect people's life through policy implementation, which leads to obviously inclusive development. I think, sir, the most motivating factor for me for joining this service was since I am from Jharkhand, and growing up in Jharkhand, I have seen challenges of especially related to education, health, and infrastructure. So, sir, I want to use my technical knowledge, my professional skills, and my leadership skills for overcoming these challenges and for improving the public service delivery for the common people, sir. And for these reasons, sir, so I am in a good service. However, means my role is more limited to advisory functions. So I think by joining civil service as an IS officer, I will get a chance to expand my role and be a more productive asset for the country, sir.
Okay. So you have mentioned about your leadership skills. Can you tell any 3 attributes of your leadership skills?
Okay. So I think, sir, I am a team person, so, and I like to interact with people and understand their challenges, and at the same time, sir, I also show them the path through which the challenges can be overcome and the objective can be achieved. And I think I have quality of composure also, which is very necessary for a good leader to face difficult situations.
Okay, right. Okay, fine, Saurabh, done.
Okay, sir. Okay.
All the best.